to bring yourself into a comfortable seat. And being that we're going to do some heart opening practices today, let's kind of start with paying attention to what has been the state of your physical heart, your emotional heart, the pattern of posture around your heart. What just kind of tend to what's here in this part of your body, your heart chakra, that anahata never can be harmed, this unstruck, beautiful purity that is our heart center. And maybe it means you need to kind of rearrange your posture a little bit, or focus on counteracting some of that hunch and rounded posture that we tend to get a lot of the time. So, what does it feel like to kind of puff up your bird feathers, your breast feathers a little bit so that you have this beautiful openness and awareness of your heart space? And see if you can do that without pinching the back body or pushing your rib cage forward. See if you can let it be more of an energetic sensing of expansion. And then notice the draping of your bones. Do your shoulder blades drop well, or are they rolled forward? Do your collarbones sweep wide, or do they smush? Does your sternum feel broad and free, or does it feel collapsed and bound? Are your ribs able to mobilize with the breath, or do you feel stuck? So notice the carriage of bones around your heart and see what you can do to set them well. And of course, all of this on the pedestal of the spine, supported by the base of your pelvis. Does it feel like to breathe here? Remembering that if you do feel like you need a little work to help you open through your heart center, the breath is a beautiful place to reside, to remember to be aware of the breathing body helping us stay open and free. If we notice our breath getting stuck or tight or shallow or frozen, these are really good places for us to pay attention to and tend to. Feeling yourself breathe well. Bring your hands to your heart and take a moment to just allow both a bowing in to the heart space, but also a lifting out through your heart space, and meet those two together, palms of your hands. And in this place, set an intention. All right, relax the hands, and let's find our way onto our back. All right, so as you lengthen out and stretch out on your mat, here's a perfect example of a savoring moment. Maybe just that centering mudra of your hands to your heart was a beautiful present moment for you. Maybe coming to lie down on your back is a beautiful present moment for you. So try to savor the little bites of your practice, even the parts that you don't particularly have a fondness for. We just savor the routine of moving and being in our body. So first, just lie down like a shavasana. Feel the weight of you, heavy head, heavy shoulders. Okay, and then reach your arms overhead and find some good, beautiful length through the sides of your body. Reaching into one side, reaching into the other side, and just exploring and opening through your shoulders, your ribs, your sides. And then bring your knees into your chest and let your back open up a little bit. Feel free to rock if that's a nice feeling for you. Feel free to just be still and give a good hug. And then when you're ready, start to circle a few rolls one direction, a few rolls the other direction. So you just sense into letting your pelvis feel weighty on the ground. Relax your hip flexors. And then hang on to your kneecaps and straighten your arms a little bit. So try to move your knees away from your chest so that they're kind of hanging there, where your arms are straight, your hands are gripped on the knees, and just let your hip flexors relax as best as you can. And now open up your knees away from the middle and bring them back in. So we feel that warming of the hip joints themselves. Remember to savor any little pocket of goodness that you find in your sensations. Savor. Right knee into your chest, left leg comes long on the ground, and feel free to wiggle your toes and move around. Isn't it so nice to just feel your feet get free? Remember to keep your head heavy. Remember to let your breath come. And then switch sides, left knee into your chest, right leg long on the ground, and feel your way into some movement still in your feet. And then release that leg, stretch out to a star. Feel that expansiveness, reach into your fingers and your toes. And then when you're ready, knees in, pick up your head, round your spine. Let's do that one more time. Inhale to get broad in your body. Exhale, draw your chest and knees in. Put your head down onto the ground. Let's cactus the arms, feet on the ground, knees bent. Cactus the arms so that you have like goalposts. Your elbows are directly out from your shoulders, and just get a sense of this. Do you have comfort in this position? Do the backs of your hands rest evenly on the ground? Do you have one shoulder that's a little more restricted than the other? So just paying attention. A full breath. And then reach your arms straight up in the air. And we're going to lift the hands to the sky and then plug the humerus bones down toward the ground. And just do that passage a couple times where we lift our hands up and then root our humerus bones, those upper arm bones, down. One more time. Up and down. And feel the setting of your shoulder blades on the ground. So a fair amount of work to keep those humerus heads down. Then open up like a T. And let's start to windshield wiper our knees. As you start inviting twisting action in the spine, let your head turn in opposition of your knees, nice and gentle, just some fluid movement of rotating your spine. Make sure your breath is here. All right, and then roll to your right side. You can always put a block under your head if you need to. Bend your knees. Bend your hips, stack your knees and your feet, palms together, and then we'll open up and then close the book. So we're just lifting that left arm up and behind you. Maybe your hand touches the ground behind you, and maybe it doesn't. You just find where you go. Don't hesitate to let your knees slide apart. You can do this with your knees glued together, so that you really move into finding the restriction that lives in your thoracic spine. But for today, open up into the full twist and feel that spiral in your body, the ease of it. And then we'll roll over to our left side, stack your legs, palms together. And when you're ready, we'll open up the right arm behind us, touch the ground, and come back. So something so simple, but really counteracts a lot of the actions of what we do with our shoulders and our chest and our arms during the day. So much of our activities through the day, our arms are in front of us. So just enjoy the arm being behind you a little. And then roll onto your back. Spread your limbs one more time. Exhale, draw the knees into the chest and roll to your side to come up to your hands and your knees. All right, as you find your way to all fours, ground yourself, and then start to move through some cat-cows. You can round the spine and arch the spine and take your time to feel the full ripple of your vertebrae. Notice if there's any spot that you're like, oh, that's a little tender. I need to pay attention there. I need to support there. Also notice if there's a place where you're like, oh, this feels so good. I just love to open my spine in this way. And then start to move any way you want to move. Maybe your tail likes to wag. Maybe your tail likes to circle. Maybe your shoulders like to move. Just take your time to feel and notice how your spine interrelates with so many other bones. Your pelvis, your rib cage, your sternum, your collarbones, your shoulder blades, your skull. So much of the body can get really stuck through our torso when we just stare at a computer all day. So hopefully no one's doing too much of that with their work. All right, so drop back, hips toward heels. Lengthen into a child's pose. Take the arms out in front of you and reach them. And you can adjust, however far apart you want your knees to be. Let's see if you can inch your finger pads forward so you get a very long, spacious stretch. And then breathe down the length of your body. Okay. Offer a little more softness. So pull back from that depth of your stretch and then walk the hands over to one side or the other. We'll do both. So stretching through your lats, your shoulders, a different quality of breathing coming into that one side. And then come over to the other side and feel that side open up. And again, remembering to savor every sensation you feel. Go back to center, come up onto all fours. Feel free to wag your tail around. And let's find a full twist now. Arm up, open that chest, exhale, drop your shoulder down. Gaze toward the floor so your eyes are nice and soft, your neck is nice and soft. You can push a little bit through that hand to deepen the twist and enjoy your spine. Can you lift both your femur bones up and back? Can you melt your head again? All right, and then come out of it just a little bit so you're facing the ground. That arm underneath you is still lengthening, but our collarbones get nice and broad here. Just opening up the outside of the arm and shoulder. Inhale, reach that arm all the way back up in the air. Hand comes down onto the ground. Let's switch sides. Arm lifting. Exhale, sliding the arm down. Notice if you're starting to, enjoy being in your body, if the presence of all the sensations you're feeling are starting to help you just open up and feel a sense of freedom and a sense of presence within yourself. How's your breath? And then when you're ready, you can face the ground a little bit more, stretch through your collarbones, the back side of that shoulder opening up. All right, then inhale, reach that arm all the way up to the air again. Hand comes down onto the ground. Up you go, dog pose. All right, so let's get our legs involved now. Pedal your feet. Start to wake up your calves. Notice what you're feeling. All right, so feel a sense of deep ground through your hands, deep ground in your feet. Push and lengthen out of there. Let your head bobble and relax. See what is open. Can you spread your hands and feet more? Is there a sense of full length in your spine? How's your breath feeling? And then walk your feet forward. Come to Uttanasana, a deep forward fold. Let your back open up. Bobble your head if you'd like. Bounce a little if you'd like. Just see what feels good. Inhale for a halfway lift. The spine can get longer. Open up the soles of your feet. Lift your sit bones. And exhale. Melt the base of your skull. One more time, a halfway lift. And as you exhale, melt the base of your skull. Let your whole spine waterfall. Push through your feet. Drop your seat. Bring your hands onto your knees for a moment, just coming halfway up. And then drop down just a little bit more into your legs and maybe pulse a few times here, just so we kind of make sure we're waking up our groundedness, waking up all the strength in our leg muscles, feeling some blood flow drop into our legs. Fill up your breath, and empty it out. And then push off your feet, come up to stand, bring the arms up over your head if it feels good. Okay. Feeling that length, reach your heart open. Let's cactus the arms like we did on the ground. Let's open them up here. Squeeze the back body a little bit. Pull your arms back, a little further back from your shoulders if you can. And then exhale and round your chest. Forearms touch. Bring your chin in. Inhale, arms up, out and around. Feel that cactus. Exhale, rounding in. Just feel that warming of your shoulder joints. Reaching up, cactus one more time. Exhale, rounding in. Okay. Lengthen up, interlace your fingers, press your palms toward the sky. Take your legs just a little bit wider and reach up and over to one side. Ground your legs. Roll forward, let your back ribs open up, and then roll to the other side. Great, come back up, release the arms down, give your hands a little bit of a shake. Interlace your fingers behind your back, open up through your chest. If your shoulders are tight like mine are, you can always grab a strap behind your back. Open up through your heart, bend your knees and lean forward, arms away from your spine. Open up the fronts of your shoulders. Again, enjoying sensation. Relax your neck. See if you can feel the stretch from your tail to your crown. And then release your arms. Come back to a halfway lift. Back to the hands on your thighs. Chair, feet are hip width apart. Pulse your legs a handful of times. Breathing deeply. And then you can either stick a block between your thighs if you'd like to, or you can have your legs together, or you can have your legs apart without a block. Inhale, arms up, and feel the work. You know, back bends aren't always just this passive, like draping over something, which feels so good, but there's effort in keeping that thoracic spine open. Move your ribs back. Breathe deeply, move your femur bones back. Drop some weight in the heels. Keep the neck supported, relaxed. Inhale, come all the way up. Exhale, arms down, fold forward. Get the block out of there. Let's come down to a dog pose. Feel that extension in your spine again. Notice if your arms are a little more awake and alive. Can you push into the ground and hug your hands toward each other, invigorating some muscles around your ribs? Inhale, come forward into a plank. Start to hold a sense of stability here, pushing the ground away. Breathing deeply. You can always put your knees on the floor if you need to. Find your breath, open your heart, spread your collarbones. Root the index finger mounds and thumbs. Find the ground with your knees all the way to the ground. Roll the shoulders a few times. Let that mobility stay here. Inhale, cobra pose, opening up the front body. Exhale, melting down. Now let's remember to engage our core. So that will also engage our glutes a little bit. So it's not like we're totally passive. Inhale, lift up again. Notice if there's more space in your low back when your core and your glutes are engaged. Melt to fold back down. Come up onto all fours. Swish your spine around. Back to a child's pose. Feel that deep compression in your hips. Open up your back. Let's come on up and bring our right foot in front. Left knee stays on the ground for a moment. Have some blocks available. We're going to go from a half Hanumasana to a lunge with our knee bent and on the ground. Okay, so just moving back and forth. Half Hanumasana, a lunge with your back knee down. All right, and then bring your hands closer on blocks, closer to your torso. Come upright, half Hanumasana here. Drop that hip down. We're going to just keep our right hand on the blocks, and you can stack, higher stack if you need. That's much more stable. I like that, so I'm glad I did that. Inhale, reach your left arm up in the air, and we're going to twist open to the right. Open across your collarbones. You can try taking the other hand away from the blocks if you want to experiment with some balance, or you can keep your hand on the block. Your choice. Okay, come back up, bend into your knee. Two hands on blocks in front of you. Lift your knee up off the ground. A full lunge now. Let's bend and straighten the front knee like we often do. Remember to savor sensation. Opening up the hip flexors, opening up the hamstrings, finding your way into your breath. Plant the back heel down onto the ground, root it. Inhale, rise up into Virabhadrasana 1. Okay. So feel that front knee. You don't want to let it go past the ankle. The back heel is rooting down, so you have a lot of stability in this pose. Lift up through your ribs, reach them off your hips, extend, reach your arms high, tip your head back, reach your fingers to the heavens, and then maybe a little bit of a tip back to open up through your heart, protecting the low back, using your glutes, using your core. Okay. Exhale and release your hands. Hop up onto that right foot, half splits. Extending through your spine. Engage your glutes. Both sides are engaged. Find your breath. Exhale. Jiva squat. Tuck down in. Inhale. Press your legs straight. Exhale. Folding. Let's do one more. Push your legs straight. Turn on your glutes on both sides. Exhale. Dropping in. Now, maybe experiment with a little balance. Take your arms out or palms together. All right, and then hands back onto the blocks. Half splits again. Place that left foot down next to the right foot and fold. Bend your knees, let the back body open, keep your neck long. Wait until you feel symmetry. Where your legs are equal efforting, feeling like you're losing the effort of that pose we just did and recovering. Okay, a halfway lift, and then let's step the right foot back. Place your knee down on the ground. Okay, so we're starting with a deep lunge. Blocks are so nice. We're going to go into a half Hanumasana. So our front leg straightens, the hip drops down, toes come up, and then we'll come into a lunge, back knee on the ground. And just kind of seesawing back and forth between opening up the back of your front leg, including your glutes, And then the front of your back leg as you lunge. All right, find your way into half Hanumasana and come to stay there. Walk your blocks closer to you so you can come upright. Fingertips on the blocks, perhaps. Try not to hike the left hip out and up. Drop it down. Okay. Maybe you'd like to stack your two blocks. That was very helpful for me, is very helpful for me. So you have a high height underneath your right hand. Left arm reaching up to the sky. Drop your hip down. Flex your toes. When you feel ready, twist open to the side. If you want to challenge a little extra balance, you can take the hands off the blocks to find a full opening with your arms out to the sides. If you need some balance help, back on the block, but try not to lean over onto those blocks. All right, and then come back out of there. Come to your lunge, ground yourself, and we'll go ahead and lift up into a full lunge here. Back knee is off the ground. Let's go ahead and bend and straighten. Feel your way into that mobility of your pelvis, your legs, moving with your breath. Remember to savor subtle sensations. And when you feel ready, ground both your feet. So the back heel is going to come down onto the ground and root. Bend that front knee, interlace your fingers maybe the opposite way, and reach your arms up, Virabhadrasana 1. Engage your glutes, press your front heel down, engage your back leg fully, root into the earth, reach your ribs up off your hips and extend. Find both the ground and the rise. And the heart open a little bit more here. And then release your arms, bring them down onto the blocks, hop up onto that left foot, squaring up your hips. So take some time to get this pattern right. So your hips are square, your core is engaged, your glutes are engaged, the spine is long. Take a deep breath in, exhale, Jiva squat. Tuck your knee behind knee, drop your head, slowly push straight. Exhale, come down into that one-legged squat. Push your legs straight. This next one will stay here for a little while, so drop down in. Maybe you're practicing some balance and your arms are palms together or out to the side. Maybe you're keeping your hands on blocks. Or use your core and then stretch your legs straight. Place your right foot down next to your left and wait for the two legs to synchronize. How's your breathing? Hold it deeply. Push off your feet. Inhale. Come all the way up to stand. Okay, let's cactus open the heart one more time. And then release your arms down your sides. Pause in Tadasana, mountain pose. Notice if you get sleepy in the back of your body. See if you can invite that whole back line to engage a little bit to help you keep your heart lifted. So much of the time we can collapse our chest forward. Feel your shoulder blades on your back. Feel a little bit of core. Feel your glutes. Can you touch in with that back of your body? Inhale, reaching your arms upward. Exhale, floating down. A halfway lift. Melt to fold again. Step all the way back to a plank. Find your way into that extension and breathe. All right, so as you get into this plank pose, see what it feels like to root into the index finger mounds and thumbs. Hug your hands toward each other. Drop your shoulders away from the ears. Feel a lot of muscles around your ribs helping. Engage through your core as well. All right, knees onto the ground. Find the earth. Take your arms down at your sides, palms facing the ground. Take a deep breath in and lift your arms and legs. Feeling that full line of the back, working for the posture. Breathing deeply, engage your triceps. Try to lift your arms a little higher than your spine. Exhale and relax. Put your head underneath your hands or on top of your hands. Pick up your feet and windshield wiper your knees. Just pay attention to the strength of the back of your body easing up now. Nice and gentle through your low back and your pelvis. All right, let's bring our legs back down onto the ground. You can repeat what we just did, or maybe your arms are overhead now, which is a little bit more challenging. So just see what your shoulders and back want. Before we go anywhere, engage your core. See if you can navigate moving your floating ribs a little bit into your body, so you're not just collapsing down onto the ground. Lengthen your tailbone toward your feet and feel that center body work. And then when you're ready, lift your right arm and left leg and see if you can stay integrated with the front of your body, with the back. Feel your glutes, hamstrings, shoulder. Exhale and release that down. Ribs knit in, pelvis is stable. Lift up the other side. And then relax. And now we'll put it all together. And always you can have your arms down at your sides instead of up overhead if need be. Inhale to lift everything up. Now it's much harder to feel that knitting of the ribs when we're lying on our belly. So breathe deeply. See if you can feel your core and your glutes supporting you. Feel the muscles around your spine. Keep your neck neutral. Exhale and relax. Put your head on your hands again. Pick up your feet and windshield wiper your knees. All right, let's come up to all fours. Wag your tail. Okay. Shimmy your spine like a fish swimming. So you have that kind of side ripple through your vertebrae. Loosen things up. Okay, and we're going to come onto our back. Okay. Go ahead and put your feet on the ground. Now, before we are going to come up into a bridge pose, but before we do, see what it feels like to just scrub your tail. Imagine your tail is like a T-Rex tail, like a big, heavy tail. And you have to kind of drag it on the ground up toward your shoulders. So it'll make your low back arch a little bit. Go ahead and do that, and then relax. So you're moving into an anterior tilt of the pelvis as you do this. So you're scrubbing the tail up toward your shoulders. Feel those multifidi, those muscles along your spine. And then relax and let your posterior tilt of your pelvis be very gentle. You don't have to tuck your tail, but just relax. One more time. Scrub your tail up toward your shoulders, kind of dragging on the mat. And then release. Yeah, I think the quadratus lumborum, that deep low back muscle, we sometimes get afraid of engaging, thinking that, I don't know why we get afraid of using our low back muscles, thinking that might harm us. This is such a safe way to engage those low back muscles because, gravity is not compressing your spine down at all onto your hips. They're just nice and neutral. Okay, we're going to lift up into a bridge pose. Round your feet. We're going to roll and rock onto the tops of our shoulders. Make sure your neck is in a nice, happy place. Press your arms down into the ground. Palms stay up. Turn them up toward the sky. Press your whole arm from your heads of your arms to your fingers into the ground. Lift your pelvis. Round the four corners of your feet. Push your feet away from your chest Turn on your quads. Now pull your feet toward your shoulders. Turn on your hamstrings and your glutes and your back. Feel that whole back chain. Push again. Feet away. And then pull again. Feet towards shoulders. All right. And relax and melt your spine on the ground and windshield wiper your knees. We're going to repeat that one more time without the specifics of our feet movement. And instead, we're going to focus on the breath this time. Of course, you can do this pose passively with a block anytime. So if you need more rest, always take that as an option. Round the four corners of your feet, rock onto the tops of your shoulders. Keep your neck neutral. Do not push your neck into the ground. Lift your sternum toward your chin. A little teeny bit of weight on the back of your head. Press your arms around the four corners of your feet, and then make your breath as big and billowy and expansive in your ribs and your abdomen as you can. All right, let's lower our hips back down and release your shoulders. Windshield wiper your knees left and right. Roll to your right side. Palms together, just the same twist we did in the beginning. Open and close your book. Let this help your spine relax. We have one more back bend to go. Let this help you just release your spine. And then roll to the other side. Open up through your spine. Notice if there's any cracks, if your vertebrae kind of find their alignment, if your ribs settle into place. All right, roll over and come onto all fours one more time. Okay, we're gonna take our blocks out here in front of us, stacked with the short edge touching. I always think of this as like two train cars next to each other. Elbows on there. Stretch back towards a child's pose and just let your triceps open. Thumbs toward your spine. I have my toes curled under so that I have a little extra height underneath for my hips. Maybe that would help you too, I don't know. Now notice, especially if you're very flexible, try not to collapse your armpits toward the ground. A little hovering of a lift under your armpits and stretch from your elbows to your hips. All right, come back up. Let's move those blocks out of the way. Find a seat for just a moment. Just notice your breath. Let's actually come up to stand. We'll do a quad stretch standing. All right, so finding your way here. You can always hold something if you need it. You can also practice some balance if you don't need it. All right, so right leg is on the ground. Grab onto your left foot. Now you can be here and just stretching your quad. You can be holding on to furniture or a wall. Try not to do this where your knee comes out. Keep your knee dropped. If you feel like you'd like to kind of kick this into a dancer pose, by all means, you can also just stay with a deep quad stretch. Your choice. And relax and put that foot down on the ground, especially if you're balancing. Enjoy, savor a moment of your 2 feet onto the ground. And then when you're ready, let's pick up your other foot. You can wrap a strap around that foot if you need to. Try not to stick your hip out, keep it in. Try not to stick your knee out, keep it in. So integrating. Maybe you're stretching your quad, maybe you're holding on to something. Maybe you're reaching that left arm up and kicking into a dancer pose. Just find the path that's right for right now. Keep your neck relaxed and breathe. And relax that foot down onto the ground. Deep breath. Inhale, arms to the sky. Exhale, let's float forward. A halfway lift. Back to a dog pose. Feel that full spine. Come forward into a plank. And lower yourself down. You can ignore me and do something else if you're like, I've had enough of the back bends. But if you're joining me, grab onto your feet. And if you can't reach your feet, you can do a different back bend of your choice, or you can wrap a strap around your feet. Tail descents. Remember the first back bend we did where we knitted our ribs in and we fixed our pelvis to be in a neutral territory? Let's find that. Kick your feet into your hands. Inhale and lift up into Dhanurasana. Keep your knees in line with your hips. Keep your neck relaxed. Open up across the fronts of your shoulders. Breathe well, like that billowy bridge pose we did. And relax. Bring your hands under your head one more time. Windshield wiper your knees. Let's come on up onto all fours. And again, move your spine like a fish. Side to side. How much rippling can you get like a snake? Think less. It'll happen if you think less. Just let your body find its pattern. Curl your toes under. Dog pose. Walk your feet forward and come up to stand. All right, have your feet kind of a little bit wider, and we're just very gently going to twist our spine. Let your arms be so passive in this. They're just, gravity's just taking them for a ride. Centrifugal force is just taking them for a ride. And now if you want, you can bring your arms further out. Let your feet move. So we want to twist the pelvis with the spine. Turn your eyes if you'd like. Maybe you want to bring your arms further up. Maybe you want to bring your arms further down. Maybe you want to bring your legs wider. All right. And then widen your feet. Come to a deep squat here. Nice wide legs. Drop your seat in line with your knees. Open up your knees. Stretch your back open. All right. Then we'll find our way to the ground. Come to lie down on your back. Put your feet on the ground for a moment. And just let your spine move toward neutral. Nice neutral spine. Just let your body receive the rest. Your knees are bent. Let's cactus open the arms one more time like we did in the beginning. Fill up your breath. Empty it on out. We're going to grab our strap. Keep your left knee bent and your left foot on the floor. Right foot in the strap. We'll lift that leg. Drop your femur bone. Move your hip away from your shoulders. Now, if it's comfortable to straighten your left leg, go ahead. You can also keep it bent. We're going to cross the right leg to the left. So hold the strap in the left hand, opening up your hip. Stretching through your glutes, your hip muscles, even your hamstrings a little bit. Back up. 2 feet in the strap for a moment. Feel the length of your spine. Dip your tail. Take the right foot out, right foot on the ground, knee bent. Allow your left femur bone to drop into the ground. Feel the lengthening of your spine and melt your skull. When you're ready, let's take the strap into our right hand. You can straighten your right leg. You can also keep it bent. Just gonna have to clear it with your left thigh. Crossing your left thigh over to the right. Maybe the left hand wants to sink into that hip crease and push it away. Just letting the hip open, the glutes open. Big breath. Lift that leg back up one more time. 2 feet into the strap. Extending through your spine here. Release your feet down and just check in. How's your back? Right foot on left knee, reverse pigeon pose. Okay, opening up the hip a little differently. Head is heavy. Try not to collapse your chest. Keep your chest broad. You can always put your foot on a piece of furniture instead, or a wall, instead of holding your knee or your hamstring. Are you savoring each moment? Put your right foot down. Put your left foot on your right knee. Switching sides. Reverse pigeon. You can hold the front of your shin or the back of your thigh. Be mindful of what your pelvis is doing, so try not to hike one hip up. See if you can keep a sense of balance. How's your breathing? Release your feet down onto the ground. Maybe some windshield wipering, maybe a more full twist, maybe a happy baby, maybe a rocking plow. Okay, so ask your body, what do I need before Shavasana? You have a minute or so to just kind of find what postures are going to make you feel good right now. Doesn't matter what you do, just find your movement. How's your breath? Are you enjoying what you're doing? All right, now, whenever you're ready to settle and there's no rush, you do you. As you prepare for Shavasana, as always, make sure you're warm. Make sure there's no bright light on you. make sure your body is supported in a way that makes your back and your neck and your shoulders and your knees and everything feel very comfortable. Take your time to do it right. Sometimes you just need a little extra something, something to be most at ease. And as you bring yourself into that ease, pay attention. Maybe you need to drop your shoulders a little bit. Maybe you need to focus on bringing weight to your body. Release your breath, let it be free. And deepen our breathing. your body melting. Full breath in and out. You savor this last moment of Shavasana. And invite some movement maybe into your feet or ankles or wrists or fingers. Maybe a head turn from one side to the other. Maybe a big full stretch in your body. And then take a moment when you come rolling onto your side, let your low back open, broaden the back of the body and breathe there. And then coming up to a comfortable seat when you feel ready. Let's bring our hands to our heart. See if your heart can expand a little more freely. And have the intention of keeping this heart space open to recognize, appreciate the simple joys, simple beauties. Let's offer our love and our care, our attention outward. Send your energy to another. Namaste. Thank you, everyone.